As you can see, this particular show garden by Barnsdale Gardens has won gold. Now, it's definitely well deserving because we've got some fantastic plants here. Like for example, this hardy Cranesville Geranium. Now, as you can see, the flowers, well, they're very welcoming and they're quite open. So bees can get in there and access the nectar. And just over here, we have some yarrow. So this would be good for butterflies and other pollinators. Another good plant for nectar-loving insects. As well as arranging your plants so they complement each other, it's also good to give that variety for bees and other pollinators. So if you have geraniums in your garden, instead of having this Achillea, how about you have a Lychnis instead? It's always good, as I said, just to offer that variety to give bees different sources of nectar. I'm here with Julie Haylock because she's a double gold award winner. So could you explain what those awards are for?
Okay, basically this year at the show the design brief was to design a garden based on a literary theme, and as you can see I chose Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree as my theme. They had each of the gardens were graded gold, silver, etc., and then I was lucky enough to be awarded the prize for the best interpretation of the theme for my garden as well.
And then gold for best border garden.
Well, yeah.
So with the design of this garden, how has it benefited wildlife?
Well, the plants that I've chosen in this garden are all nectar rich, which will attract the butterflies and the bees into the garden to obviously support them in their lives. Also the colours as well are attractive to the bees, being purples. They like their purples and their pinks. So yeah, that's basically why I did that.
So what would you say is your favourite wild animal?
I'd have to be honest and say I don't think I have got a favourite wild animal. I like all sorts of wildlife, but if I was pressed to choose, I would choose a fox, I think, as my favourite. But in terms of the actual garden itself, I've got to say butterflies, birds and my bees. I like to see those in the garden.
So Julie, what advice would you give to people to benefit wildlife in their own gardens at home?
My advice I'd give to people is to go to the local garden centre and look out for the plant labels which have got the bee-friendly logo on them, and that would then give them a good selection of plants to have in their garden, which would attract all sorts of butterflies and bees, and give them a good selection of visitors to their garden. Adam has been asking me questions, so I'm turning the tables on him now and I'm going to ask him some questions. So Adam, tell us, why are you at the show this week?
Because I wanted to report on the wildlife friendly aspect of Gardeners Wildlife. So it's not just about the plants, it's about how the plants and how the gardeners and the designers produce their gardens and plant their gardens so it helps wildlife.
Okay, so far of what you've seen of the gardens, have you been impressed with what you've seen, or are you a bit disappointed in what you've seen?
I wouldn't say I've been disappointed, I've been quite impressed, to be honest. Before I realised the gardens won gold, they were happened to be the gardens that I was drawn to, and then you'd walk around and you see that little certificate to say they've won gold. But I can't believe it, I've liked another gold winning garden, so I must have the eye for it really.
That's good.